Now let's move over to the story. 5 people have been shot dead in Morningside in Durban. Our reporter Lethiwe Mdluli is there and she joins us now live. Lethiwe, when we spoke to you a short while ago, you told us that it was more of a police operation that led them to this residential area, block of flats, where 5 suspects believed to be possibly linked to some of the shootings that we have been seeing play out in Durban in the last 2 weeks. Tell us what the situation is like now.
Well, Heidi, as I said before, we do understand that these 5 men were linked to a recent shooting that took place in Springfield just last week. And right now I'm going to be speaking to one of the residents who's going to share more information as to what they heard. But earlier on, when I spoke to the police, Colonel Robert Nechibunda, he did share some details about this, saying that it's their investigations that led to the shootout that took place in this very quiet area, if I should mention. Right now, what we do know and what we can see is that the forensics team has arrived. The shooting happened in one of those apartments there at the top, and from what we've learned from the police is that they were basically here conducting their investigations, and unfortunately when they approached the men, they opened fire first, and this is when the shootout ensued. And we do know that the police officer, or at least one police officer, was shot during that shootout, but of course the police spokesperson did share that he is fine, he wasn't injured during that process. And right now we do see the forensics team just basically conducting their investigations as well. I want to bring in Heidi, one of the residents, and speak to him about what happened. He does not want to be on camera, of course, because he's fearing for his life. But Mr. Poswa, thank you so much for joining us and just basically wanting to share what you heard a bit earlier on. We do understand that the shooting happened about 2 hours ago. As a resident, how scared are you? Take us through what happened and what you heard.
First of all, thanks for the opportunity. Yeah, well, it was like any given day, and sitting, having a short meeting. Yeah, we just had this bang, we thought initially it was a car crash. Then we heard a second, shall I say, loud noise, and the third, fourth. Then we said, no, something's going on. We started taking cover. Of course, we didn't know what was happening initially. Yeah, as I said, that it was very shocking, and we were kind of like, because I had my partner, obviously I had to protect her, so I had to think, okay, what am I going to do now? Then I started trying to track where the noise is coming from, so that we can find an escape route, if you like. Yeah, but yeah, this is a very quiet environment, very quiet area, and this is the first time that we encounter such an event, and very unfortunately, it's very sad. That the kids living here, I can imagine the trauma. Yeah, so we're very, very shocked to the core. Yeah.
Did you perhaps know these men? Of course, you have said it's a very quiet area, but did you perhaps know them? Have you had conversations with them? Because your apartment is not so far from where this incident took place.
Unfortunately not. I mean, it's every person for himself, for herself. We mind our own businesses. Yeah, so it's not very easy to, shall I say, to intrude or to get to know what people are doing out there. But yeah, it's again, I'll use the word that it's very shocking. Very, very, very. We're taken aback, and we hope that we could find a better way to solve crime in South Africa. We can't be going on like this. I mean, we cannot normalize just losing lives like this. So yeah, it's really a shocker.
You just spoke about the crime in South Africa. Here right now it's happening right outside your apartment, and like you said, you had your partner with you at the time. There's a lot of children in this building as well. Yeah. Are you worried about the security issue? And we spoke off camera about you thinking of relocating back to Johannesburg.
Yeah, sadly, that decisions need to be made, and because safety comes first, and you have to ask yourself whether is it still a right, environment. Well, in South Africa as a whole, that is it the right country for our kids to grow up in. But I think as South Africans broadly, I think we should find a way, really. We can't be talking about this anymore. I think urgent actions are needed to be taken for this country to be safe, for investment to come back into South Africa. We're crying about jobs. But again, how are we going to create jobs if during in the middle of the day, things like this happen? So yeah, I think it's beyond, shall I say, it's beyond politicians nowadays. I think we as people, we should just join hands and fight against crime. It shouldn't be a slogan anymore, but we should take decisive actions. And if we were to go back to curfew, we should go back to those things that worked in the past. But really, it's we can't go on like this. Yeah.
And Baphosa, lastly, just coming back to this incident, high caliber firearms were used during the shootout, and you did explain that you had a loud bang at first, and then you had a second one, and this is when you decided to hide. What do you make of what happened? Like, they were using AK-47s, from what we do understand from the police. As a resident, what do you make of this? And as a South African, of course, these kind of guns are on our streets. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think probably it's time that we review gun laws. How can we grow up in a society where such dangerous weapons are at criminals' disposals? It's not accepted. I think we need to go back to I don't know, maybe if the constitution needs to be reviewed. I think we have to go down that road, but we cannot just let criminals run amok like this, in a broad daylight. So I think we should just go back to the drawing table. Otherwise, we're in for a free fall.
How scared are you right now?
Pretty scared. I was indeed. But as I said earlier, safety first. I thought of my partner first, that what it is that I'm going to do to protect her. And then we're pretty scared. But I shouldn't. I don't want this thing to happen to anybody ever. I think it should just stop. We've done enough talking, we've done enough workshops and seminars, etc. But I think we need to take action. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much.
Well, Heidi, this is one of the residents in this apartment block, just basically taking us through what he heard when this incident took place. 5 people have been shot by the police. This is following the shooting that took place in Springfield. They were conducting their investigations, and they wanted to have conversations with these men, we do understand. But when they approached, they opened fire, and this is when the shootout took place. So right now, the resident is basically explaining how scared they are as people that are living in this apartment block, and he is saying that it's time for the police to act, and also for the community as a whole to join hands rather and fight against crime.
Let's actually listen to what the police had to say about this.
Earlier today, we recovered the vehicle which was used in the shootout, and we arrested one suspect with a rifle. And a search at his house also led to the discovery of another rifle, an R4 rifle. It's a military rifle, that one. So we went further investigating, and we were led to this place in Springfield, where we found 5 suspects inside a flat. They tried to shoot the police. In fact, they shot at the police. One of the officers was shot, but was wearing his bulletproof vest, so he is okay. Then 5 of them were shot and killed here.
A very worrying and disturbing story, but thank you so much for that update. That is our reporter Lethiwe Mdluli.